Have you ever reached the end of a long day and wondered, where did all the time go? You woke up with plans, real plans. You told yourself that today you would focus, today you would make progress. Today you would finally move closer to the life you keep imagining, but somehow the hours disappeared. Morning turned into afternoon. Afternoon slipped into evening. And before you knew it, the day was gone. The important tasks were still waiting. The goals that once excited you were pushed to tomorrow again, and that quiet frustration started creeping in. You feel busy all the time. Your mind feels tired. Your schedule feels full. Yet somehow the things that truly matter never seem to get the attention they deserve. It starts to feel like time itself is working against you. But here is the truth most people never realize. You are not actually running out of time. You are running out of clarity. The human brain is incredibly powerful, but it has one serious limitation. It struggles when everything feels important at the same time. When your mind is flooded with tasks, messages, responsibilities, and expectations, something dangerous begins to happen. Your attention scatters, and attention is the real engine behind time. When your attention is scattered across too many directions, the brain starts to slow down. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. Every small choice you make during the day quietly drains your mental energy. What should I start with? Should I answer this message first? Maybe I should check email quickly. Maybe I should organize something before beginning. Each tiny decision seems harmless. It only takes a few seconds. But dozens of those decisions pile up throughout the day. And slowly, without realizing it, your focus begins to weaken. The brain begins searching for easier paths. Instead of focusing on the task that truly matters, your mind drifts towards something simpler, something less demanding, something that feels easier to start. A quick scroll, a quick check, a small distraction. And just like that, another piece of your day disappears, not dramatically, not loudly, but quietly. This is how time really slips away. Not through huge mistakes, but through small moments of confusion. When priorities are unclear, the brain defaults to comfort. It moves toward activities that require less effort. It chooses things that feel productive but don't actually move your life forward. So your day fills up with movement but not progress. You stay active, you stay busy. But deep down, you know something important is missing, because the work that could change your future keeps getting pushed further away. Highly effective people understand something most people overlook. They do not try to do everything. They focus on the few things that matter most. Clarity changes everything. Clarity removes hesitation. It removes overthinking. It gives your attention a direction. When you know exactly what deserves your focus, the brain stops wandering. Your energy stops leaking. Your time stops disappearing. And suddenly, the same 24 hours begin to feel completely different. This is why understanding the real reason behind your disappearing time matters so much. Because once you see the hidden forces stealing your attention, you can finally take control of them. And what you're about to discover next may completely change the way you see your time. Because one of the biggest reasons you feel constantly busy is something your own brain has been quietly training you to crave every single day. Your brain has been trained to chase what is easy, not what is meaningful, not what will build your future, what is easy. And the world around you is designed to make that trap stronger every single day. Every notification you hear, every message you see, every endless feed you scroll through is carefully built to capture one thing, your attention. Because attention is the most valuable resource in the modern world. The moment something captures your attention, it captures your time. And once time is gone, it never comes back. What makes this trap so powerful is the chemistry inside your brain. Whenever you do something quick and stimulating, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical that creates a small feeling of pleasure and reward. It tells your brain that something felt good, and the brain remembers it. A quick scroll feels good. A short video feels good. Checking a notification feels good. It only takes a few seconds, but that tiny reward teaches your brain an important lesson. Easy actions bring instant satisfaction, but meaningful work is different. The work that truly changes your life rarely feels easy in the beginning. It requires focus. It requires patience. It requires effort before the reward appears. Your brain doesn't naturally prefer that path. So when you sit down to do something important, something strange begins to happen inside your mind. Your focus starts drifting. Your brain searches for stimulation. It whispers small suggestions that feel harmless in the moment. Just check something quickly. Just relax for a minute. Just look at this notification. Those moments feel small, but they add up faster than you realize. 5 minutes becomes 15. 15 becomes 30, and suddenly the momentum you were about to build disappears. Not because you are lazy, not because you lack discipline, but because your brain is following the path of least resistance. Modern technology understands this better than most people do. Entire industries are built around holding your attention for as long as possible. The longer you stay engaged, the more your focus weakens. The more your focus weakens, the easier it becomes to keep you there. This creates a cycle that quietly steals your time every day. You feel busy, you feel mentally exhausted. But the work that could truly change your life remains untouched. That is the painful illusion many people live inside. Their days are full, but their progress is empty. They move constantly, but rarely move forward. The most successful people are not immune to distraction. Their brains work the same way yours does. They feel the same pull toward easy stimulation. The difference is awareness. They recognize the trap. They understand that attention must be protected the same way you protect something valuable. Because once your attention is scattered, your time disappears with it. Focus becomes shallow, energy becomes fragmented, and the deep work that builds real progress becomes harder to access. But the moment you start protecting your attention, something powerful begins to happen. Your mind becomes quieter, your focus becomes stronger, your actions begin to align with what truly matters. And suddenly, tasks that once felt overwhelming begin to feel possible. Because attention is the gateway to control. Control of focus, control of effort, control of time. Yet even when someone learns to avoid constant distraction, there is another invisible trap that continues stealing hours from their life. One that feels productive on the surface, but quietly delays the action that actually changes everything. And this trap is even more deceptive because it looks like progress. It feels responsible. It feels intelligent. It even feels productive. It is the trap of endless preparation. Your mind convinces you that before you act, you need to plan more. You need more information. You need a better strategy, a cleaner schedule, a clearer roadmap. So you start organizing your ideas. You open a notebook, you create lists. You design the perfect plan for how everything should unfold. For a moment, it feels powerful. Your goals look structured. Your future looks organized. Your mind feels calm because everything is finally written down, but something strange happens after that moment. The plan sits there, the list stays untouched. Days pass, then weeks pass. And the plan that once gave you excitement slowly becomes another reminder of what still hasn't started. This is one of the most dangerous illusions the human mind creates. Psychologists often describe it as the planning illusion. When you plan something, your brain releases a small sense of accomplishment. It feels like you've already taken the first step. But planning is not progress. Planning is preparation. Real change only begins when action enters the picture. The mind, however, prefers the safety of preparation. Because preparation carries no risk, it allows you to feel productive without facing the uncertainty of real effort. When you plan, nothing can fail yet. Your ideas remain perfect inside your head. Your vision stays untouched by mistakes or obstacles. Action is different. Action exposes reality. When you act, you discover what works and what doesn't. You encounter resistance. You face difficulty. You see the gap between imagination and execution, and that gap makes the brain uncomfortable. So instead of stepping into that discomfort, the mind often returns to planning again. It refines the list. It improves the strategy. It reorganizes the schedule. It feels like you're moving forward. But the truth is, you are standing still. Hours disappear inside research. More hours disappear reorganizing tasks. Your mind becomes busy thinking about progress rather than creating it. That's how preparation slowly begins replacing execution. And the worst part is that this still drains your mental energy. You finish the day feeling tired, even though the work that truly matters never started. This creates a quiet frustration inside you. A feeling that something is wrong, even if you cannot fully explain it. Because deep down, you know that thinking about change is not the same as creating it. People who move forward in life understand something powerful. They do not wait for perfect plans. They move with imperfect action. Action creates clarity faster than thinking ever can. When you take action, the world responds immediately. Feedback appears. You see what works. You see what needs improvement. Every step reveals new information that planning alone could never provide. Progress begins the moment movement begins. But when planning becomes a hiding place, time slowly dissolves into preparation without results. The balance becomes inverted, minutes of action, hours of planning, and that imbalance quietly steals months, even years from people's lives, because time does not reward ideas, time rewards execution. But even when someone escapes this trap and finally commits to real action, another hidden force can still drain their productivity in ways that feel impossible to explain. A force that leaves people exhausted, busy all day, and yet strangely far from meaningful progress. This is the moment many people become confused. They finally start taking action. They try to work harder. They push themselves to stay busy from morning until night. Yet the results still feel smaller than the effort they are giving. The reason is simple, but most people never see it. Time is not the only resource you use to build progress. Energy is just as important. You can have 10 free hours in your day, but if your mental energy is drained, those hours lose their power. They become slow, heavy, and unproductive. You sit in front of your work, but your mind refuses to cooperate. Focus slips away. Simple tasks feel harder than they should. And suddenly the day feels long, exhausting, and strangely unproductive at the same time. Your brain is not a machine that runs endlessly without limits. It is a biological system that runs on energy. Every decision, every moment of focus, every problem you solve consumes mental fuel. When that fuel begins to run low, your brain automatically shifts into survival mode. It tries to conserve energy. It avoids difficult thinking. It looks for easier tasks that require less effort. This is why many people spend their entire day doing small, simple tasks, answering messages, checking updates, moving between minor responsibilities that feel manageable. These activities create the feeling of being busy, but they rarely demand deep focus. They keep the mind active without pushing it to its true capacity. The problem is that the work that changes your life usually requires the highest level of focus you can give. It requires concentration that lasts longer than a few minutes. It demands your full mental presence, but modern life quietly destroys that level of focus. Constant notifications interrupt your thoughts. Messages appear before your brain finishes processing the previous task. Your attention jumps from one thing to another, again and again. Each switch seems harmless, but neuroscience shows something important. Every time your brain changes tasks, it pays a cognitive cost. It must pause, unload the previous task, and reload the next one. This process drains mental energy faster than most people realize. After enough switches, your focus becomes shallow. Your brain can no longer dive deep into complex thinking. Instead of building momentum, your attention stays on the surface. You work longer hours trying to compensate for that lost depth, but more hours cannot replace lost focus. 1 hour of deep, uninterrupted concentration can produce more meaningful progress than 5 hours of scattered effort. Yet deep focus requires something modern life rarely offers: silence, stillness, protection from interruption. People who consistently move forward understand this principle. They protect their energy with the same seriousness that others protect their schedules. They do their most demanding work when their mind is strongest. They reduce unnecessary distractions before they even appear. They treat focus like a valuable asset, not something they hope will randomly show up. When you begin protecting your energy, something remarkable happens. Work that once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Complex tasks become clearer. Your mind begins connecting ideas faster, solving problems faster, creating progress faster. And suddenly, the same hours that once felt empty start producing real results. But even with clarity, even with protected attention, and even with stronger focus, the final transformation happens only when one deeper realization takes hold inside your mind. A realization that changes how you see every minute of your life. That realization is simple, yet it changes everything. Time was never the real problem. Your relationship with time was. For so long, it may have felt like time was something happening to you, days rushing past you, hours disappearing before you could control them. A constant pressure pushing you to do more, move faster, catch up. But the moment you truly understand what has been happening, something powerful shifts inside your mind. Time stops feeling like an enemy. It starts becoming a responsibility. Every hour you live is not just something you experience, it is something you shape. Something you direct with your attention, your energy, and your choices. Most people never pause long enough to see this clearly. They move through their days reacting to whatever appears in front of them. Messages arrive, tasks appear, distractions pull them in different directions. And without realizing it, their day gets decided by everything except their own intention. But when you begin to see time differently, your behavior begins to change. You start noticing the small moments where time slips away, the quick distractions that quietly steal your focus, the unnecessary tasks that consume your energy without bringing you closer to the life you want. Awareness becomes your first form of control, because time rarely disappears in dramatic ways. It disappears in fragments, 5 minutes scrolling, 10 minutes delaying a task, a quick check that turns into half an hour. Each moment feels small on its own, almost harmless. But those moments accumulate quietly, day after day, until entire months vanish without the progress you hope to see. The people who build extraordinary lives understand something that many others overlook. Time is not just about managing hours. It is about managing attention, protecting energy, and choosing action. When your attention is clear, your mind stops drifting. When your energy is protected, your focus becomes deeper. When action replaces endless preparation, progress begins to compound. These shifts may seem small at first. A clearer priority, fewer distractions, more deliberate effort, but the results grow faster than you expect. Days start feeling longer. Work that once felt overwhelming begins moving forward. Momentum appears where hesitation once lived. And gradually, the frustration that used to follow you at the end of every day begins to disappear. Instead of asking where your time went, you begin seeing exactly where it is going. Into the skills you are building, into the goals you are chasing, into the future you are actively creating. This is when time stops feeling like something you are losing. It becomes something you are investing, and that shift changes everything, because time is the one resource every human being receives equally. No one receives extra hours. No one is given special days. But the difference between a life of regret and a life of growth often comes down to one powerful decision made over and over again. The decision to stop letting time slip away unnoticed and start using each day with intention, clarity, and courage. When that decision becomes part of how you live, something remarkable begins to happen. The same 24 hours you once struggled to control start becoming the foundation of everything you are capable of becoming. And once you truly begin using time with intention, a deeper transformation starts unfolding inside you. You begin to realize that control over your time is actually control over your life. Every focused hour becomes a building block. Every protected moment becomes a step toward something greater than the version of yourself that existed yesterday. This is where momentum begins. Momentum is powerful because it changes how effort feels. In the beginning, discipline feels heavy. It feels like resistance. You must constantly remind yourself to stay focused, to avoid distractions, to act even when motivation is low. But the more you repeat those choices, the lighter they become. Your brain starts adapting. Neuroscience shows that repeated behaviors strengthen neural pathways. The more often you focus deeply, the more natural deep focus becomes. The more often you choose meaningful work over easy distraction, the less attractive those distractions feel. Your brain begins to rewire itself. What once required intense discipline slowly becomes part of your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles with time. You begin seeing yourself as someone who directs it. That identity shift is incredibly powerful. Because once your mind believes that you are someone who takes control of your time, your actions begin aligning with that belief automatically. You become more aware of how you spend your mornings. You become more protective of your focus. You begin valuing quiet moments where your mind can concentrate without interruption. And suddenly, something remarkable happens. Your confidence grows, not because life became easier, but because you proved to yourself that you can guide your own direction. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to begin. You stop believing the lie that someday you will finally have enough time. You realize that the moment has always been here, right now. Every minute that passes offers a simple but powerful question. What will you do with this moment? Will it move your life forward, or will it quietly disappear like so many moments before it? This question is not meant to create pressure. It is meant to create awareness. Because when you are aware of your time, you begin treating it with the respect it deserves. You begin recognizing that your future is not built in massive, dramatic leaps. It is built in small, consistent actions repeated across days, weeks, and years. A focused hour today. A meaningful step tomorrow. Another step the day after that. Progress compounds quietly. Most people never experience this compounding effect because they allow their time to scatter. Their attention jumps in too many directions. Their energy is spent on things that never truly matter. But when your focus becomes deliberate, when your actions align with your priorities, time starts working for you instead of against you. Days turn into progress. Weeks turn into growth. Months turn into transformation. And one day you look back at the person you used to be, the one who constantly felt overwhelmed, rushed, and out of control, and you realize something incredible. The time you once felt you were losing became the very tool that helped you build the life you were meant to create.